Hello friends, I am Dr. Nishat Quamar and let us discuss a few information regarding change agent. So let us know about who are the change agent. So we can say a person who act as catalyst and assumes the responsibility for managing change are called change agents. Sometimes it is called that change agents are the backbone of successful change. During the organizational development process, they are the most required expert personnel who can bring or who can speed up the change in the organization. And according to Gary Foster, a change agent is the person who carries the flag of a need, usually not generally recognized need. And according to Lewis Andre, we can say that a change agent is any catalyst that alters the status quo, or you can say the equilibrium situation or homeostasis situation which is prevailing from the longer period of time. It could be a person, group, or event, or some kind of policies. So further, we understand that who in organizations is responsible for managing planned change activities. The answer is only change agents. Okay, the change agents could be internal or could be hired from the outside service providers, or could be internal external change agents. Okay, the term change agents is used in broad sense because a change agent can be managers or non-managers, employees of organization, or an outside consultants. For major change efforts, top managers are increasingly tuning to temporary outside consultants which specialized having specialized knowledge in theory and methods of change in an organization is known as change agent. The outside service providers are expert in bringing the change. They are expert in their field. They can very easily knows how to start a change, means unfreeze the change, then how to implement the change, and how to rephrase or make the change permanent. Change agents can be internal, such as managers or employees who are appointed to oversee the change process. In many innovative driven companies, managers and employees alike are being trained to develop the needed skills to oversee changes. Okay. Change agents also can be external, such as consultants from outside the firm. They are hired from the outside service providers and they are the expert personals. So general classification of change agent may be external change agent and internal change agents, as we have discussed right now. These are the external change agents. These are outside consultants and they could be hired, and they are expert in their field who are temporarily employed in the organization to remain engaged only for the duration of the change process. Internal change agents, we can understand like these are the individuals working for the organization who know something about its problems and has experience of improving situation in the same organization. These external change agents, when assigned the responsibility of intervening in a system, come from entirely different department or division or their of their organization. So if they are so important and the change agents are so required in bringing or implementing the change successfully, so we must know what are the advantages of internal change agents. Internal change agents, as you know, that they are the most familiar person. They are just from the same organization. They know everything about the organization, and they know the problem and the situation facing the organization very clearly. So when we are hiring or when we are giving responsibility to bring a change or implement a change internally to the internal agents, it could be time saving, ready access to clients, and intimate knowledge of the organization, its dynamics, culture, and informal practices, everything regarding the systems, the procedures, the methods, the work culture of an organization. So they are the most familiar person there. Access to a variety of organization, internal company reports, and direct observation. So they spend time, they have spent a duration of time in the organization, so they have access, they know the internal company reports and access to the required information, and they are in direct observation of the situation. and it is less threatening than outsiders, and better able to establish rapport and trust in the organization. Because when we hire someone from outside, there must be a, you can say, the people are not very much familiar with the organization, and there is a trust issue also. The organization sometimes very conscious about hiring the outsiders, and they are very conscious about you can say leaking their information or confidential information outside the organization. So sometimes it is preferred to hire the internal change agents. Okay, there are some disadvantages also to hiring the internal change agents. Sometimes it is lack of objectivity, overly cautious, like when dealing with internal power structures, and may lack certain skills and expertise and experience in facilitating organizational change. So there are some advantages of external change agents also. Though we say that the internal change agents are also very much familiar person, they know the organization internally very well, but sometimes they lack the expertise which is required for bringing the change and implementing the change in the organization. So here you can see that there are advantages of hiring external outsider change agents also. Here we can very well understand that they are expert in their field, and they you can say they are the research personnel, even there are psychologists in their team. And you can say the organizational development process where the change agents are hired from outside, it's a applied psychological, you can say applied behavioral science, and they are expert in you can say dealing with the people, and how to adaptable and adopt the change during the change implementation process. So expertise that is unavailable internally, so we have to hire the change agents from outside. They are more objective perspective into the organization development process, they are expert personnel, they are very objective in their field, they know how to set the objective and how to implement the change in a very successful way. Ability to probe difficult issues and to question the status quo. The outside change agents are really very much you can say competitive in discussing, or you can say understanding the real condition and the issues going on in the organization. They are also afforded some differences and powers. Sometimes they have some powers also, they utilize in that power in the organization while they are bringing or implementing some kind of change. So here you can see there are some disadvantages of hiring external change agent also. Here the organization, when organization is hiring from outside the change agent, the extra time required to familiarize themselves with the organization. The person, or you can say the authorities, have give time to make them familiarize with the situation, with the people working in that organization. So it takes time. Organization may be very of outside, some outsiders. Sometimes organization is not comfortable when the people are coming from outside, and they are you can say looking inside their problems. Perception within the organization that outsiders have little invested in outcomes. Sometimes it is just like a perception is there that the outsiders are not very much familiar, and the outcome is not going to be very much good for the organization. So there are some types of change agents. The first one is outside pressure type. These change agents work to change systems from outside the organization. They are not members of the company. They are trying to change and use various pressure tactics such as mass demonstrations, civil disobedience, and violence to accomplish their objectives. So the next type of change agents are people change technology type. Here we can very easily understand that there is a coordination between people and the change and the technology. The focus of activity for this type of change agent is the agent may be concerned with employee morale and motivation, absenteeism, turnover, and the quality of work performed. They include job enrichment, goal setting, and behavior modification. Means you can say they are very well expert in involving the people in that change with the help of and also the technology. So it's the next type of change agent is analysis for the top type. The focus of this change agent is on changing the so as to improve output and efficiency. They are more focused on their accomplishment of objectives and output and efficiency. The change agent uses research, system analysis, policy studies, and other forms of approaches to change the organization structures. Or the next one is organization development type change agent. These change agents focus their attention on internal processes, intergroup relationship, communication, and decision making processes in the organization. Their strategy is often called a cultural change approach because they analyze the culture of the targeted organization, and they are very much expert in handling the culture of the targeted organization. So we can very easily understand that what are the roles of change agent. The change agent is just like a counselor, or you can say consultant, or that person is expert in giving some kind of training to make the employee adaptive and adaptive in implementation of the change. And they have a good you can say knowledge regarding the research pattern also, just to know the exact problem what is going on in the organization and what has to be rectified or modified or being altered. Okay, so change change agents should possess, you can say, a change agent may be internal or externally hired. They must be flexible in nature, resilience. They must have flexibility. They must have, you can say, a good listening skills. They must have concerns regarding the people. They must have all the you can say insight to gel with the group of people where the change is going to be implemented, and they must have an identity. Okay, here on this slide you can see that if a change agent wants to introduce a single innovation in a client system, then he has to play the following 7 roles, which are very important to bring the change in the organizational setup. So first of all, I told you earlier that change is an expensive process, and it needs coordination, and it needs resource coordination. It needs vigorous planning. So it is good to develop need for the change. First of all, the change agent must know what exactly is the needed, where and how and why and how much, and in which process, system, method, procedures, or in people competencies where the change has to be implemented. Establishes an innovative exchange relationship. It develop the people are expert in developing relationship, that they can diagnose their problems and creates intent to change in the client. You can say they are very you can say very attention seeking person. They translate that attention into action, stabilizes adoption, and prevents discontinuance, and achieve a terminal relationship. So these are the 7 basic roles or very important roles a change agent must have. So there are certain specific skills required for the role of a change agent, because this is, it needs you can say it needs some kind of special skill, expertise, and some kind of you can say insight in the change agent to bring the change in organization. So it works, sometimes it is said that it works like a sensor of the business environment. They are just like a person who can sense the what is going on in the business environment, or the culture of the organization. They are very comfortably work vertical to horizontal states, and leadership at all levels. They have immense type of leadership qualities. They are expert in leadership qualities and characteristics, and they and manager as catalyst. They work like a leader and they work like a catalyst. Whatever they are doing, they give their focus on what they are doing and what type of changes they are trying to implement. Shorter time frame horizon, they work always in a time bound situation, and they know how to balance work and personal life. Maximization of information flow, they are always updated and they are always well informed regarding the information regarding their job and whatever they are doing. And effective change agents needs the following areas of expertise. Yes, it is very important. They must be very excellent strategy formulation and implementation. They must have all the concept of human resource management, marketing and sales management, and they must be expert in negotiation and conflict resolution. Okay, so lastly, we can say that every organizational change, whatever large or small, require one or more change agents. A change agent is only who has the skill and power to guide and facilitate the change effort. They are the expert personnel. They know their job very well. Change agents may be either external or internal. We have discussed earlier, the success of any change effort depends heavily on the quality and workability of the relationship between the change agent and the key decision makers within the organization. So we can say lastly that the change agents were change recipients and at some stages too. They are the most required people to bring a successful change in the organization, and to give organization a very suitable environment, a suitable work culture, which is required at that time, at that situation. So it is all about the change agent. Hope you can understand. Have a nice day.